Hey guys, ChristopherOdd here. This video is long overdue, and for that I do apologize, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Thief, and specifically about why I've stopped it. I will talk about some of the things I liked about the game. I will talk about some of the things that I did not enjoy about the game. And I welcome all of your comments and any of your criticisms. That's fine. But I just want to kind of explain my side of things, just so that we're on the same page. And I should have made this video a long time ago, as I've said, but here it is now. So let's get into Thief a little bit here. I wanted to love Thief. I really did, because for anybody that's been around my channel for a long time now, you'll know that I love stealth. I love sneaking around. I love, like, if you take a look at the Human Revolution videos, then you'll see that that's the kind of playstyle that I really like. And I thought that Thief would be very similar. And because it's made by the same studio, Eidos Montreal, I thought that I would have the same type of enjoyment out of it. But I didn't, and it's taken me quite a while to figure out why exactly that is. It started out well enough, and it started out, you've got this cool atmosphere. The cities, from a visual perspective, are quite stunning, if not a little bit repetitive in like a lot of the, it's kind of like a lot of the wooden textures and things like that. You go into and out of the different houses, and the windows are kind of similar all over the place. That's just really nitpicky stuff, but I mean, visually it looks pretty good. It feels very similar to Dishonored, which I loved a lot. I really enjoyed Dishonored. And I really enjoyed Human Revolution. And this game kind of feels like both of those, so why did I not like it? Again, it's tough to put my finger on, but we'll get to that in a minute. The other thing that I did like, so there was the one cutscene, and the cutscene where we kind of fall through that ceiling. I don't want to spoil, in case people are watching this and they haven't played for whatever reason. I don't want to get too much into the spoiler side of things. But when you fall through that top ceiling, and something happens, and something happens to someone, I was really intrigued, and I was like, okay, this is really interesting, and there seems to be some type of almost supernatural quality to what's happening here. But that all faded away fairly quickly. And I think it has to do with two things. I think part of it is my fault as the gamer, and part of it is on the developer's side, because it's, I would say, less than ideal mission quality. And what I mean by that is this. I'm stuck primarily in this large city area with all of these quests to do from Basso. I love the Basso character. I gotta say, really, really cool. Loved Basso. Probably more so than Garrett himself, just because he was so interesting. That being said, all of the quests for Basso are almost identical. Identical. You go, it's like, go and steal this thing. And I know it's a Thief game, so it's like, why would you expect anything different? But go and steal the thing in the house. So you go and you look for the house, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to find, but I did that to myself because I upped the difficulty a little bit, and I removed the waypoint markers to make it a little bit more, kind of, not difficult, but make it feel like more of an open world, because it certainly wasn't. And that's fine, games don't need to be open world, but the problem with the quests is that they're repetitive. And you'd go in and there wouldn't be any resistance, you wouldn't need to sneak around anybody, you just go in, it's basically like finding the right picture frame or finding the right drawer to open or what have you. And then you were done, that was it. That would be the end of the mission, and you would repeat that 6 or 7 times. I found that it took more time getting to the missions than actually doing them in those scenarios. Now, some of the main missions were rather interesting. The bank heist, and I know that the bank heist was, I think, a separate thing for pre-ordering. It would be very sad if you got the game and you didn't get to play the bank heist, because it was one of the more enjoyable aspects, because it was straight up, like, challenging. I had trouble with it, especially when you got to the cameras and things like that. But I enjoyed the bank heist. I didn't enjoy the repetitive side quests. But then what started happening is I started looking at the primary quest that we were on a little bit more, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do these things, but there's not really a huge indication as to why. The last mission, and kind of where I stopped, we were asked to go to this, I think it was like a brothel. And I wasn't really sure why we need to go there. We need to go for some book, but it wasn't really, it was kind of just like all over the place as to why we were going here, why we were doing these things. And so I wanted to keep going, but there just wasn't anything that was pulling me back. Because if I look back at the what is it, 16 or 17 episodes that I did for Thief, I noticed that probably 80% of it is me literally staring at a drawer, opening drawers, rifling through things, and there wasn't enough that was pushing me forward. And so for me, it's like it just didn't grasp me the way that I really hoped that it would. And you know, I think back to the first jewelry store that we went into, and all of your senses are just being ignited because it's like stealing things. You got the bling sound happening. You've got just like this overwhelming sense of satisfaction because you're finding all of these things. And I think that the game just tried to carry that on like the whole way, where it's just like loot, 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 loot. And that lost its effect on me fairly quickly. And I know that the response is probably going to be, well, it's a Thief game. What do you expect? It's my first Thief game, so I didn't know what to expect. I did have some other criticisms about the kind of the city aspect. Like, you have these hubs, but you've got the same guards patrolling the area all the time. And I did want to approach this from a ghost perspective, and so I wanted to just not knock anybody out if I didn't have to, and just go around them. But it became very, very tedious in the city. Very tedious. And for me, like, I'm very cognizant of the fact that I'm doing a video for YouTube for people to watch. But I have to be entertained as well, you know, and I want to provide entertaining content. And that doesn't mean that I have to be always doing something that has a lot of action by any means. But it just seemed like it was quite repetitive. And if I feel like it's repetitive from a playing perspective, I can only imagine it's repetitive from a viewing perspective. And I think that, honestly, I think it showed in my last couple of videos. I did talk about it in some of the videos where I said I'm just going to go through the main missions. I'll probably move a bit faster. But then on the last video that I did, I knocked out a bunch of guards, and that did make things a little bit faster. But I think people could tell that my enjoyment level wasn't where it should be and where I hoped it would be. So it's kind of unfortunate. One thing that really bothered me, and this is, I think, to me, this is more than a nitpick, because I gotta say this, audio in a game is so important. It's so important, especially in a game like this, where you're relying on your senses to move around and figure things out. I'm sure that you guys notice it too, but you notice in certain areas where you'd hear people talking, and I could never figure out where the hell they were coming from at all. And it's like, if I'm playing a Thief game where I am like running around in silence, trying to figure out where people are and try to be stealthy, you would think that you'd have to nail the audio around you, but it wasn't, and it was so weird, and it was I think that was just such an oversight, and I don't know if it's like a glitched or what, but I feel like I can't be the only one that was having that problem. And so it just, every time that would happen, I was kind of like, it was very jarring for me anyways. But at the end of the day, all of this to say, and I could have just come on here and said I wasn't enjoying it as much, but I wanted to provide a little bit more explanation. I just couldn't get into it, and it's unfortunate because as I said earlier, I really wanted to love the game, and it just couldn't grip me. At first it did, but then it just got so repetitive, and I'm not the type of person that just wants to, like, I don't typically want to just focus on the main missions. I want to explore. If there's something on the side, I kind of feel like I have to go get it. That's just part of my gamer mentality. And I'm not even a completionist. It's just like the obvious side quests, like I feel like I have to do. And when they take away from the enjoyment, it's kind of a bummer. So that's my stance on it, guys. I know that some people were really into it, and thank you for that. It's just, on the channel, I really just want to do things that I am enjoying, and if I'm not enjoying it, then I have to stop. But at the same time, I hate not finishing things either, so it was a really difficult decision for me. What I will do is this. There's a couple of people I know that are still playing the game. Actually, I think another person has stopped as well, if I'm not mistaken. I know one person who's still doing it. He's a good friend of mine. If you go to youtube.com/LinusPlays, he is doing a Thief playthrough. I don't think he's doing it like Ghost. I think he's just going through it, and he's enjoying it. He's expressed some of his concerns as well, but he is going through it at a pretty good pace. So if you're interested in seeing more, you could check that out. I'd also recommend that you guys check out a YouTuber by the name of Gopher. I think it's youtube.com/gophervids, VIDS. He's a very good YouTuber, and he was playing Thief on Master difficulty as well, but he hasn't done an update in like over a week, and I'm pretty sure, judging by some of the comments, that he has stopped as well. So I don't know what to say. I feel bad that I'm not finishing, but at the same time, I never want to force myself to play something that I'm just not enjoying, because it doesn't translate into a good experience for you guys as a viewer, and it certainly doesn't translate into a good experience for me. So I just want to say that I'm sorry this video is really late, and I just thought that I owed some of you guys an explanation as to why I stopped playing Thief. But I do hope that you guys understand where I'm coming from, and if you're still pissed that I didn't continue it, then hey, I'm sorry, but hopefully we can move past it. We can all hug and be internet friends. Maybe one day. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for listening. If you got to this part, if you got this far, I'm impressed, and I hope you understand. I don't know what I'm going to be playing next, but we got quite a few games going on right now, so once those clear out, we will be taking a look at some other new things. So thank you guys. We'll see you next time.